Hello everyone, it's Miss Sense. So we're going to go over our science lesson for today. Just a little review to get you ready for your quiz on Friday. So go ahead and get out your notes or take mental notes, whatever is going to be best for you. So the standard that we've been working on is we're going to investigate and describe how plants respond to stimuli, heat, water, gravity, such as the way plant stems grow toward light and their roots grow downward in response to gravity. All right, let's get started. So first let's talk about what the plants are doing in each of these pictures. Let me give you a few seconds to think about it. All right, yes. The plants are growing towards the light because light is its energy source. That is how the plants grow in the first place. So they are going to grow towards what is allowing them to grow. Perfect. And plants have adaptive behaviors that help them survive in their environments, such as this. So gravity causes roots to grow downward. We talked about that in our very first lesson. We talked about how roots grow downward into the ground. Gravity helps roots reach water and nutrients in the soil, helps roots support the plant, and, like we talked about before, keeps plants anchored into the ground. And I made a little anchor for you to help you remember that. So, just like we talked about before, helps roots support the plant, and it keeps the plant in place, keeps it in place even through all the wind, the storms. The plant will not just fly away. It'll be anchored into the ground. However, stems grow upward against gravity and towards the light. So while roots grow downward, stems grow upward against gravity. And some of you might be thinking, how are the stems staying up? How do they stay up? Well, remember we talked about how water goes through the stem like a straw. The water helps the stem stay up. And so that's why when plants or stems don't have enough water, that's why they droop over, because they don't have the water to help them stand up. All right, so let's do a quick little review. What causes a plant's roots to grow downward? Is it electricity, gravity, heat, or light? I'm going to give you about 5 seconds. Go ahead and do your 1, 2, 3, or 4 like we do in class. All right, let's see. The answer is gravity. Woohoo, like we just talked about. So roots grow downward because of gravity. This keeps the plants in place. Remember, anchored into the ground. All right. Temperature also affects when seeds germinate. Ooh, a new word, germinate. Germinate comes from the root word germ, which means to sprout or bud. So when you think of germinate, think of sprouting or budding. Seeds wait to germinate until 3 needs are met. So the seeds need enough water, they need a correct temperature warmth, so they need warm weather, and they need a good location for soil. Okay, so those are the 3 things that seeds wait for in order to sprout. All right, some plants only release their seeds when it's burning hot. So we're looking at this pine cone. It looks a little burnt, right? So some cones release their seeds in response to fire. And you can think of it this way. So there's a forest fire going on, and the cone is thinking, oh my goodness, I am going to die from this forest fire. So it releases its seeds so that it can reproduce when the cone or the plant is dead. So that's one way to think about it. Like, oh, since I won't be able to do it, here are my seeds, so you can reproduce when I am gone. That's one way to think about it. All right, why do seeds bud in warmer temperatures and not in cooler temperatures? Cold temperatures can harm a plant. So I want you to look over at this picture. Does this look familiar? Some of your parents might cover their plants outside when there's going to be a freeze because they don't want their plants to be damaged or to die. Because as it says over here, freezes damage plants. Just like us, we don't thrive in the cold weather. We have to stay warm by keeping ourselves all bundled up. just like plants. They do the same thing. Plants thrive in warm temperatures and bud. These buds then turn into leaves. So they start as buds and then they were leaves. They turn into leaves. All right, so we're going to go over our applying concepts workbook page now. So number 2, it says draw an arrow from the cause to the effect. Remember what we just talked about, cause and effect. So this picture should look a little familiar to you. So where should our arrow go? How does it start and where does it end? Think about that for about 10 seconds. All right, let's see. Oh, my arrow is going this way because my cone is burnt or dead from the fire. So this is the cause that made our cone die. Okay? So in the image above, what is the cone doing in response to heat? Who can tell me what the cone is doing in response to heat? Think about that. All right, let's see. The cone opens and releases its seeds in response to high heat. So the cone is dying from the forest fire, and so they're going to release its seed so that if it dies, they can still reproduce. All right, so this one says, draw arrows to which direction roots and stems will grow in response to gravity. So first let's talk about the roots. Which direction are the roots going to grow? Even though the plant is on its side, which direction are the roots going to grow in response to gravity? Remember, we're starting with the roots. Go ahead and come up with your answer. All right, yes, the roots are going to grow downward. They will always grow downward because of gravity. All right, now let's talk about the stems. Even though the stems are on its side, what direction will they grow? You should have said they will grow upward. Even though it's on its side, they're not going to grow to the side. They will always grow up towards its energy source or the light. All right, in our final question, what is happening in this picture? Oh, the answer is already there for you. It says the plant is growing towards the light or its energy source, which is what we just talked about in the last slide. All right, awesome guys. So that is our review for this lesson. You guys will have a quiz that you will need to complete. And I wish you the best. So make sure you study, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.